6 ordinary sentences. That's all it takes to turn a 2-minute walk through security into a missed flight, and a very long morning in a back room. And here's the strange part. Every one of them sounds polite, friendly even. They're the small, everyday things travelers our age say to a TSA officer without thinking twice. But the officer doesn't hear friendly. He hears a script, and a few of these lines flip a switch you can't flip back. So here are the 6 lines to never say at that checkpoint, and the exact words to say instead. That last one, most people say it just to lighten the mood, and it's the fastest way to end a trip before it even starts. Number 6, too much about your trip. Here's one nobody thinks of as a security problem. The checkpoint is the most crowded, most overheard spot in the whole airport. So when you tell the officer, or your spouse, loud enough for the line to hear, that the house is empty for 3 weeks and the good jewelry is in the carry-on, you've just briefed every stranger within 10 feet. The officer doesn't care about your itinerary, he cares about your bag. But the people behind you in line? Some of them are listening. Thieves work airports for a reason. Bags get separated, and travelers announce exactly when a home will sit empty. And travelers our age are the ones they watch for. It usually plays out later, not at the checkpoint. Someone sets a bag on the belt, makes small talk to fill the silence, mentions the cruise, the dates, the cash in the side pocket. Nothing happens right then. It happens at the gate, or at a house that somehow knew nobody was home. Your defense: answer the officer's actual question, nothing more. Keep dates, valuables, and the house is empty out of any conversation you can be overheard having. Split your cash and jewelry between your person and your bag, and announce neither. Magic phrase: just the one carry-on and my personal item. Plain, forgettable, true. The officer doesn't need your travel diary, and neither does the man behind you pretending to check his phone. The next one isn't about what you reveal. It's about what you argue. Number 5, I know my rights, this is ridiculous. This is the one that turns 2 minutes into 40. You do have rights at the checkpoint, but the second a screening turns into a debate, the officer's whole job changes. Federal rules hand TSA wide discretion over how you get screened. Argue the wording, refuse a step, raise your voice, and the quick, quiet resolution is gone. They can page a supervisor, order a full secondary search, or refer you to law enforcement. Every one of those costs you the exact thing you were trying to protect: your time. Being right about a rule and being waved through are 2 very different things. I've watched this one turn a small flag into a scene. A traveler gets stopped over something minor: a wet wipe pack, a forgotten water bottle. Instead of letting them swab it, he plants his feet and lectures the officer. Now the bag gets a full hand search, a supervisor is walking over, and the flight boards without him. Your defense: comply first, question second. You can always object calmly afterward. If something feels wrong, ask for a supervisor by name, not a lecture. Keep your voice lower than theirs. Tone calms a checkpoint faster than logic ever will. Magic phrase: I'll cooperate. Could I please speak with a supervisor about this? You can win the argument, or you can make your flight. Rarely both. The next one comes from a good instinct, and still goes sideways. Number 4, I'm not going in that radiation machine. This one starts with a fair point and ends in a mess. You are allowed to decline the body scanner. TSA lets most travelers opt out of the imaging machine and ask for a pat-down instead. But how you say it decides everything. Snap "I'm not going in that thing" and step away, and it can read as refusing screening altogether. And refusing screening means you don't fly, and you can be walked right back out of the airport. Worth knowing too, the millimeter wave scanners most airports use aren't X-rays. They're low-power radio waves. And for our age, the opt-out is genuinely useful. Metal knees, hip replacements, and pacemakers set those scanners off constantly, and a calm pat-down is often faster than 3 trips through the arch. You've seen this happen at least once. Someone with a hip replacement gets pulled for a rescan, gets frustrated, refuses the machine the wrong way. Arms up, voice sharp. Now the whole line tightens up. Said the right way, it's a 30-second request, and you're through. Your defense: decline calmly and ask for the alternative by name. Mention metal implants up front. It explains the alarm before it happens. Wear slip-on shoes and thin layers to keep the pat-down quick. Magic phrase: I'd like to opt out and have a pat-down, please. The machine can wait. Your hip and your dignity both prefer the pat-down anyway. Quick question: how many of these 6 have you said at a checkpoint without thinking? Be honest. I have 2. And grab the free printable version of this list, the exact lines to say instead. It's linked right below in the description. If this is helping, hit subscribe. The last 3 are the ones that cost people their whole morning. Number 3, the wrong way to talk about medication. Here's where good, careful people trip themselves up. 2 opposite mistakes live in this one. The first is staying silent about medically necessary liquids over the limit. Insulin, a liquid prescription, the water for a CPAP, and letting the officer find them cold. The second is blurting it out with no context. I've got needles and a pump in here, in a way that sounds alarming. The rule itself is calmer than both. TSA allows medically necessary liquids over the 3.4-ounce limit in reasonable amounts, and your medication does not have to be in its original prescription bottle under federal rules. But you do have to declare it, and it has to come out of the bag to be screened separately. Travelers our age carry more medication through that line than anyone, so this is our rule to get right. It usually goes one of 2 ways. Keep the insulin and syringes loose and silent, and the alarm brings a supervisor and a lot of questions. Say one calm sentence first, and the same items get a quick separate screening and a nod. Your defense: separate medical liquids and devices into a clear bag before the belt. Say the words medically necessary out loud. The whole rule is built around them. Keep a doctor's note or the pharmacy label handy if it eases your mind. Not required, but it ends questions fast. Magic phrase: I have medically necessary liquids and medication to declare for screening. Medically necessary is 2 words the checkpoint actually likes to hear. One of the few. The next one almost every grandparent says, and it sounds like the friendliest thing in the world. Number 2, my daughter packed this for me. This one gets said with a smile and lands like a red flag. For decades, the checkpoint ran on one quiet question: did you pack your own bag? The reason behind it hasn't changed. When you tell an officer someone else packed your bag, or worse, that you don't really know what's inside, you've handed him the one thing that removes your ability to vouch for it. That's the exact situation secondary screening exists for. It doesn't mean handcuffs. It means the bag comes off the belt, it gets opened, and your easy morning is over. And I'm just carrying something for a friend? That's the same trap with a bow on it. It gets said with the best intentions. A grandmother tells the officer her daughter packed the carry-on and she's not sure what all is in there. Meant as small talk. Heard as, this person can't account for this bag. Out it comes. Your defense: pack your own bag, or at least look through it before you leave the house. If asked, say plainly that you packed it and you know what's inside, because you checked. Never carry a wrapped or sealed item for someone whose contents you can't fully vouch for. Magic phrase: I packed it myself, and I know everything that's in it. Blame your daughter for plenty of things if you like, just not for your carry-on. And now the one that sounds like a harmless joke, and is the single fastest way to end your trip before it starts. Number 1, the joke about what's in your bag. Stay with me. This is the reason I made the whole video. There is one kind of sentence the checkpoint has zero humor about. Any joke about a bomb, a weapon, or don't worry, you won't find anything dangerous in there. Say it, even grinning, even just to break the tension. And federal law stops treating it as a joke. TSA is required to take every threat-adjacent comment seriously, no matter what you meant by it. That can mean a full search, a call to law enforcement, a civil fine reaching into the thousands, and yes, missing your flight while it all gets sorted out. The officers aren't stone-faced for sport. They're legally not allowed to laugh it off. What feels like friendliness to you is to them a mandatory procedure you just set in motion. It always starts the same friendly way. Someone tired of a long line says, "Don't worry, no bombs in here," and smiles. He was joking. The next 90 minutes, the search, the questions, the paperwork, the door closing at the gate, are not. Your defense. No jokes about weapons, bombs, or your bag's contents. Ever to anyone anywhere in the airport. If you want to be friendly, comment on the weather, not the contraband. Answer every screening question plainly and literally. Magic phrase, no, nothing to declare. It's all just clothes and toiletries. Save the comedy for the flight attendant, the one person at the airport who's actually allowed to laugh. After enough trips through enough checkpoints, I've learned the officer isn't judging you. He's listening for a script, and travelers our age just have to know which lines never to hand him. But the words are only half of it, because there's a whole set of medication rules the airport never explains until you're already standing at the belt and getting those wrong costs seniors far more than a joke ever could. That one's waiting for you right here. Go give it a look before your next trip. I'll see you over there.